And welcome back, YouTube. Good morning. It is straight up 5 a.m. September 21st, 2022. It's a Wednesday morning, and I am locked out of my house. That sucks. I just noticed there's a sign right in front of my car. Damn. So we got a street light there, and it's turned off, and there's another street light right over there, and it's turned off. And I was reaching in my pocket for my flashlight, and I realized that that's on the keychain with my house key that I don't have. So you probably can't read the sign. I don't really see it. Oh, there we go. That made it visible for a hot second. Absolutely no camping, lying, or sleeping by order of the Phoenix City Code, PCC 2330-2348.01. So that seems to be the law that prohibits sleeping and camping in parks. No camping, lying, or sleeping. Sorry, I'm still congested, still losing phlegm out my throat. Wow. I can get with the no camping, but the no lying or sleeping, that seems kind of like an overreach. I mean, sometimes it feels great when you're not homeless to just take a little nap on a blanket in a park on a nice, spring or fall day. Yeah, that seems kind of overreaching. So this is Urbandale Park. I would assume there should be a sign here that says that, but the sign is completely gone. Stopped there, ate my breakfast burger. Decided against eating my cinnamon roll, but I ate my breakfast burger. Took my pills. The pain's not too bad right now on my tooth, so I would imagine. So gosh, I've been taking the pills since Saturday afternoon. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 3 days of antibiotics has finally killed the infection enough. Oh, the sidewalk ends right here. That car there is idling. I got the feeling somebody's living in that car. We got the windows all blocked out. That right there is the entrance to the northbound 51 from 20th Street, which is what most people think of as the entrance from Thomas. 20th Street and Thomas and the 51 is kind of an odd intersection. If you're familiar with it, if you look at it from Google Maps. And of course, in traditional Phoenix style, no accommodation for pedestrians. Here you can see, oh, thank you for the light, car. Yeah, there's a sidewalk along the front of the park here, and it just ends. It just ends in gravel. So if you're walking south, don't know where you're supposed to go as a pedestrian. There's no sign that says no pedestrians. That's the freeway entrance there. And the traffic that I'm walking along there, that's southbound traffic from 20th Street, which goes north. I'm not sure how far north 20th Street goes from here. I want to say it goes all the way up past Missouri. Yeah, there's no sidewalk here at all. Phoenix infrastructure has a bad habit of just completely forgetting that pedestrians exist. This is 20th Street southbound, where it goes underneath the 51. And then the cross traffic, which is going by very, very fast, is that's the on-ramp to the northbound 51. The freeway formerly known as Squaw Peak Parkway. Yeah, for a pedestrian wanting to just continue walking southbound on 20th Street, there's no crosswalk there. No crosswalk painted, no marked crosswalk there. I mean, I think technically that would count as an unmarked crosswalk, but there's no sign, no marked crosswalk, no sidewalk. I mean, I can see plenty of footprints that obviously a lot of people walk here. But yeah, when ADOT built this, they completely neglected to. I'm not sure if ADOT, I'm pretty sure ADOT built this, but it's one of those things, is it ADOT's responsibility to put in the sidewalks? Is it City of Phoenix's responsibility to put in the sidewalks? I don't know. Whoever's responsibility it is, they're not here. Here you got a stop sign indicating that it's one way, and that's the southbound off-ramp from the 51. Again, no crosswalk to get to the other side. And it's 5 in the morning, so it's not too terrible trying to cross right now, but pretty hectic in the daytime. Now, I think that is the Urbandale Heart Hospital right in front of me. Now this is interesting. I've never come here before. I got a sidewalk over here going south along 20th Street. And right here and this does actually seem to be a sidewalk versus a walkway, and on the property adjacent, because we got a wall between the parking lot of the hospital there, the heart hospital, and where I'm at. So yeah, this definitely seems to be a sidewalk, and it seems like they've put a short fence to protect pedestrians from the somewhat high-speed traffic that comes off the freeway over to Thomas. That's Thomas at the stoplight south of me. But yeah, there really should be seems like there should really be a sidewalk where I just walk, and there's certainly not. On this sidewalk that I'm on, though, heading northbound, which I'm sure if I stay on it southbound, take me over to Thomas. And I don't think I've ever walked over here, so this is all new. Never explored this before. This is kind of fun. You see that fence goes right here and ends at the sound wall. Fun fact about these sound walls along the 51, when the freeway was built, and you see the brick part on the bottom, that's all the higher the sound wall went. And then I'm not sure if it was in the late 90s or the early 2000s, they did some expanding of the freeway. They got rid of the landscape median and added carpool lanes, and then they made the sound wall taller and uglier. So that's when they added that piece there. Same kind of thing there. It used to be like you see the kind of artwork that's cast on the side of the freeway there, and the overpass where it goes over 20th Street, the southbound lanes at 20th Street lane, I should say, it's only one lane. That sound wall above it, that never used to be there. It used to be when you were going southbound on the 51, back when it was called the Squaw Peak Parkway. When you drove through here, you could see it wasn't like driving in a big empty traffic ravine. Like, you could see off the edge of that bridge and see everything over here looking out. And now they got that sound wall and you can't. I don't know, I imagine it helps with some of the sound, but it's still pretty darn loud over here. So I've never walked through this way. This is kind of neat. Kind of an interesting open space here with the sidewalk. So it looks to me like the general idea presented is not for pedestrians to cross under where I just crossed under, but rather to take this sidewalk here, which does, wow, there's like a ramp there for cyclists, I guess. And then this bizarre ramp continues all the way around. I guess that's for access to this area for maintenance vehicles. Oh, no, the sidewalk just ends. It ends on this side, and it ends on that side. So I guess you're supposed to walk in the street. Oh, yeah, Phoenix pedestrian infrastructure leaves a lot to be desired. I have no idea what the hell street this is. I'm sure this is a street that probably went through before this freeway cut through this neighborhood. But now it's got this really weird T-shaped dead end, and it looks like it has no sidewalks. I have no idea what street that is. Continuing north. Huh. I was thinking the way that ended into that street that there would be a walkway like what I was using, but there's not. But there is room to walk, so I'm going to keep walking. There you can still see the double-tiered wall. The brick being the original wall, and then the extra, however many feet, probably 10 feet, that they added to it. Which makes it pretty darn ugly, I feel. And yeah, I am connecting to another street, I think, over here. I don't know why they didn't put an actual pedestrian pathway here, since it's a very walkable space. I never saw that little gap before. That's weird. An interesting gap between the sound walls. So, same sort of thing here. When the freeway was built, and I remember the freeway being built, the retaining wall ended here, and then there was this piece right here that's kind of a edge, one of those curved cement edges that stops people from flipping their vehicles over it. And then that sound wall above it was added. It used to be when you're headed southbound, you could see into this neighborhood from the freeway. I would imagine the people that actually live on this street, whichever street this is, there's no street sign to tell you if you're on this end. I imagine the people on the street probably appreciate not having as much freeway noise. Although I can still very much hear the freeway right here. Some kind of weird cul-de-sac on the end of the street that used to go through. And I believe the park that was in Urbandale Park was probably built after those streets were eliminated. When the freeway was built, just on that little triangle of property that's left there that wasn't really usable for anything else. And we got an alley going that way, going directly to the west. That's weird, we got a cable coming off the pole. And they've extended the alley, dumpster there, going this direction. This looks so weird to me how you can see the retaining wall, and then you can see the layers of the retaining wall and the little safety divider, and then the extra sound wall that was added many years later, right here. And here we have another funny little ramp right here, and a weird shaped cul-de-sac from the street that obviously used to go through. I have never walked through here before. This is kind of interesting. Hope everybody watching is finding this mildly interesting too. You know what I'm finding extra interesting about it is I'm not seeing any with all the homeless people that are camping and squatting in random places that I haven't encountered any here. There was definitely some people sleeping in their car by where I was parked inside the park. Oh, I like their backyard with the lighting and stuff. Oh, I just got my battery warning. I'm at 15%. We got an alley coming this direction. Now this is interesting. It's an alley, but it doesn't look too... It's hard to tell if it's still used as an alley, but there's definitely a right-of-way here. Space walking north. Can't tell if that's a big house or an apartment building right there on the left. I couldn't tell you what street it faces. This is kind of spooky right through here. That's kind of interesting. It's probably too dark. Maybe y'all can't see it. A little extra brightness. There you can kind of see it. It's funny how I hit that and then you sort of turns on the super bright viewfinder for a moment. I can tell there were homeless people camping here because they've left their trash behind. I get the extra bright to happen. Nope, not going to do it. So yeah, I'm stepping over a whole lot of trash left behind by a previous homeless encampment. Anyway, that funny little place where the retaining wall sticks out. I don't know why that works when I do that there. Used to be a traffic light, or not a traffic light, but a street light there for the freeway. But yeah, I'm able to walk around there. They're coming on another street. I have never walked through on this side. This is kind of interesting. I like to feel like I've walked through everywhere in Phoenix, but everywhere you could possibly walk through, but I've definitely never walked through there before. This looks a brand new sidewalk. It's one of those tap stick accessible, blind accessible with the tap stick bumps ramp. And no, that large structure is actually somebody's private house. That looks like a pretty new house. That looks like a recently built house too. And 2 front doors. Oh yeah, it's definitely a duplex. Definitely got a duplex going on here. So I don't know what street this is. It goes through to the south. I can't tell if it goes through all the way to Thomas or not. But imagine if it did, I'd be able to see cross traffic on Thomas, and I'm not seeing it. We got a sidewalk on the other side here. Oh, I got me a problem. I kind of got to go to the bathroom. As I mentioned before, these pills have been kind of giving me some stomach issues. And I'm locked out of my home, so I got to figure out where I'm going for a public restroom. I do think I'm fairly close to a QT. Yeah, there's a QT right by the canal on Thomas. So hopefully I don't have digestive issues to the point I don't make it. So where are we at? Cherry Lynn Road and 19th Street. And here's some apartments now leasing. The Palms Apartments now leasing. Get a little extra light on it. There we go. I don't know why when I hit that it doesn't stay at that brightness. The Palms Apartments now leasing. 1 and 2 bedrooms available. 602-957-4999. You know, when I say that there are more affordable apartments to be found, they're usually places like this. It's not those great big complexes. Those great big complexes tend to be really fucking expensive. But it's little spots like this in out of the way places like 19th Street and Cherry Lynn that tend to have somewhat affordable apartments. Now, I'm saying somewhat affordable at this point. They're, the 2 bedrooms probably. I would imagine the 2 bedrooms probably about, I would just ballpark it probably. I'm just pulling numbers out of my ass. I haven't called or anything. Somebody wants to call and ask them, feel free and put it in the comments. But I would imagine those are probably about $1,100 a month for the 2 bedrooms. 11, maybe $1,200 a month for the 2 bedroom, and the 1 bedroom is probably about $1,000 a month. Maybe a little bit more. But I just keep running into more videos of Adam Gilligan's Phoenix Homeless, where he's talking about how nobody could possibly make enough money to afford an apartment because he's looking at these apartments by where he likes to loiter along like Thomas and Central and downtown Phoenix. He's going to these luxury towers that are like $2,000 a month or more. Yeah, like I don't know anybody can afford to rent those places either. But like there's I would imagine those apartments are reasonably priced. And I tell you, when I'm looking for an apartment, I don't look online. The places that are advertising online, those are the ones that are spending the money to advertise online. you're paying for that in your rent. Why would you want to pay that extra advertising budget in your rent when you can just rent an apartment? Now, usually what I do is I come into a neighborhood that I'm interested in living in, and then I wander around and I look for places like this. And this place looks like it'd be pretty chill. I don't see any transients squatting around. There's some evidence that there were some that were squatting behind that house, but they're gone. At the intersection 19th Street and Monterey Way. This piece of Monterey Way looks like it was moved and realigned when the freeway was put through here. Got a fence cutting me off, of course, from the bike route along the Grand Canal. Anybody goes digging through my old vlogs, I know there's one I did probably a year and a half ago where I walked through on that pathway and whoa, Jesus, just fell off the curb. I couldn't see it. It's so dark over here. Fell off the curb, and I was walking through there and singing because the acoustics in that tunnel are really awesome. Now, I have in the past seen quite a few people, homeless people, squatting in that tunnel, and I've got videos when I used to wander around here. When I first started doing this vlog, I used to come into this area a lot just to kind of clear my head and talk, and just kind of why I'm here now. And I used to always see people, homeless people, squatting in this tunnel, but I don't see any at all looking in there. So this is the south. So there's paths on the north side and the south side of the Grand Canal. That's the Grand Canal right there. It's kind of dark, you can't see it, but you can see the lights reflecting in it. And the one on this side is actually packed, really hard packed dirt. It feels like it's paved, but I think it's just hard packed dirt through right here. The one on the other side is the Phoenix Canalscape, part of the Phoenix Canalscape, Grand Canalscape project from about, from like early 2020, that was done. And that particular project, it's really nice, and it's all done with cement, and it's super smooth. Yeah, I think I got a video somewhere in my vlogs as well. Again, probably from like nearly a year and a half ago, where I still had my electric scooters functional, and I rode an electric scooter pretty much the length of that canal path with the phone in my pocket, so you could see the ride. On the other side of the canal, there's a space between the canal and the freeway where the new Canalscape path runs, and you can't really. There, you can see it barely when I make the light go brighter. There's one of the pots. There was a public art project in the early 90s, I want to say 92, 93, that really outraged the locals when I want to say like 500. Oh, I forget how much money was spent on it, and I don't want to quote the wrong amount, because there's a big difference between 500 million and 500,000. But whatever amount spent, it was a ridiculous amount of tax dollars, and it really pissed people off to have some artists from the East Coast design this public art project that consisted of just this pottery along the freeway. Now, it used to all be visible from the freeway. Now, since they added that sound wall, because everywhere where I'm standing used to be visible from the 51 freeway, but now that they've added that sound wall, and there's a bicycle. It's got no lights, but there's a bicycle on the path, and it's so dark y'all can't see it in my video. But I swear he's there riding with no lights. Maybe you can see him go across the lights. Barely. You can kind of see some motion in front of me. Anyway, yeah, you used to be able to see that pottery from the pottery artwork from the giant pottery artwork from the freeway, and a lot of it used to be along the low walls as well. But yeah, when they raised those sound walls higher and expanded the freeway, most of that became invisible. But you can still see it on some of these paths over here. And there's another bit of another one of those little canals. Phoenix has a lot of those. It's an interesting piece of property right there, all fenced off. Looks like the foundation of a small house that was removed in front of me. I should really never do these videos in the middle of the night. Like, yeah, here's all this stuff that I can see that you guys can't because my phone doesn't shoot worth a shit in the dark. That's kind of interesting. We got a little canal. Y'all can even see there's a canal there. It's got water in it too. Oh, I should be careful so I don't walk right into it. Hard to tell. I think those are individual houses there with all the lights in the back patios. I could totally go for living in this area. Although I don't know, the noise of the freeway is, I think it would get to me after a while. Although I'd imagine inside a building it's not so bad. I'm sure it's kind of loud right now, right here where I'm standing. So I didn't walk across that little canal to my right. Here you can see it. When I hit the thing, it gets momentarily bright. You can see it. I wish there was a way that my phone would just automatically stay at that level of brightness. Yeah, it just comes right out of that cement thing. Guess it goes underground here. Yeah, this is where I crossed over. So much dirt coming off of this that it's covered up the curb. You can tell there's a curb there. I think these buildings to the south, that's part of those apartments that I showed the sign for. Yeah, it's definitely part of those apartments. And then this street continues off to the west. I want to say it probably goes all the way through to 16th Street, but I can't see it going through to 16th Street. So I'm thinking it probably goes through to 18th Street, and then it's probably offset at 18th Street. Like it probably goes through to 16th Street from 18th Street, but you kind of go a little to the left or a little to the right to continue forward. Some of the blocks in this neighborhood don't really line up perfectly. See the freeway signs up above right there. And the exit labeled Thomas Road and Thomas Road and 20th Street. Whoa! Like all looking in my screen, not paying attention. I just tripped over some dirt. So this is going to take me right back into Urbandale Park. And I only know it's called Urbandale Park because it says so on Google Maps. I've never seen any sign whatsoever in the park that says Urbandale Park. Although I'm thinking that frame by the picnic table probably should say that. It just, the frame is just empty with no sign. There's definitely some trash left behind in here from people that have been squatting in here. That's probably one thing that frustrates me the most about so much of the homeless population is how they just insist on littering like this. Like, to me, this underpass is a nice amenity. This path is a nice amenity. You know, why trash it like this? I don't get that. I mean, I just ate in the park, and my wrapper for my burger and the one napkin that I soiled, I put in the trash can. And everything else went right back in the bag and right back into my car. Looks like some of the people squatting enjoyed a Little Caesar's pizza down here. Good times. Yo! Yeah, the acoustics here are really awesome. I don't feel like singing right now, though. Nope, y'all don't get treated to that on this video. And you have to really go digging through old vlogs to find it. Since I'm at like number 800 something. And consider how many of them have 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 segments. I'm probably well over like 1,300 of these vlog videos on this channel now. And it's amazing, like sometimes I get like tens of views. Oh, look at the moon. I find this beast neat. Now you got the fence on each side and you're just kind of raising up to ground level, coming out from under the freeway. Urbandale Park on the right. The Grand Canal on the left. It is kind of trippy how when you're under in the tunnel, like I just was, it is kind of trippy to think that the level of that tunnel, so you can see it, the level of that tunnel is notably lower than the level of the flowing water in the canal. Decent amount of water flowing through the canal right now. It's pretty. I don't know if I've ever walked along this edge before. Kind of a little structure there. It's making like a little rapid. Wow, I've never doubled back along the edge like this before. I didn't see one of them no trespassing signs though, so. Wow, there's like a little gap in the sound wall where you can see the traffic rushing by on the 51. Just the lights momentarily flashing. That's pretty trippy. And nope, this is all the farther you can get on this little pathway. Gap on the sound wall is pretty trippy though. There's where the canal goes underneath the freeway. Wonder how much trouble you would get for floating down the canal on a raft these days. I vaguely remember kids doing it in the 70s when I was a kid, but I would imagine nowadays you probably get in trouble for it. It's not safe. I remember when I was I want to say a tween, not quite a teenager, but probably like 12, 13. I remember staying at my grandfather's mission out in Ethity on the Wind River Indian Reservation. And there's a lot of canals that runs through that reservation. And there was one that went just along the side of his mission, on the north side of it. And I used to have so much fun playing in those canals with all the Native American kids there in the reservation. Pretty sure that's a Shoshone reservation. But yeah, I had so much fun just playing with all the Shoshone kids and the other couple random white kids that were there, but mostly Native kids. And we played in those canals. Nobody really worried about it being unsafe or anything, you know. But it had these little cement structures where it would drop down. Those were our water slides. Those were our water slides. We had inner tubes, and we'd ride the inner tubes down those because you didn't want to slide on them and just your skin, because the cement was kind of rough. It cut you up, but it was fine on a fine on a inner tube. I find this so fascinating how you can still see the structure along here under where they added the sound wall, where the old street lights used to be. Turn on super saving mode. I'm down to 9% on this battery. Trying to get up here where y'all can see that. Yeah, you can still see, maybe if I make it bright. Yeah, you can still see a metal junction box there where the traffic light used to be. But yeah, these retaining walls still have the little parts that come out like that with the little space on top where the traffic lights used to be, because there didn't used to be. It used to be, that's the edge of the freeway. It's the shoulder on the other side there. You can kind of see where the little safety rail ended, and then the sound wall was built on top of it. So yeah, this freeway now has just got those super, super bright lights down the center of the freeway. And it's got the HOV lanes down the center of the freeway. But I very distinctly remember what the freeway looked like in the early 90s. Used to drive it a lot as a taxi driver. And it used to be 3 lanes on each side, now HOV lanes. The middle was a beautifully landscaped median. And then on the outside edge, you could see the neighborhoods. You could see out into the neighborhoods and see what nice neighborhoods they were, and see all the landscaping and stuff, and see the pottery. Love it or hate it, you could see the pottery. And yeah, like where my hand is right there. Can I get a little bit of extra light? Nope, not gonna happen. It's too dark this morning. Yeah, you could, like from the freeway, you could see what I see right here as you were driving. And those street lights, they were just like regular street lights, like along a street. They weren't any kind of ridiculously extra bright freeway type lights. If I remember, they had them on the inside along the median as well. But yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful freeway to drive down. I used to really enjoy driving down it. So I think this light pole here, I think when I started this vlog, and my mental health was so bad when I started this vlog, I really thought I was teetering on the edge of probably having to go back into a mental hospital, because I was really, really struggling to remember from 1 minute to the next, and 1 hour to the next, and 1 day from the next, what I had done and what I was working on doing. But I knew I was on the cusp of losing my apartment, which I kind of feel I'm on the cusp of losing again for totally different reasons. I don't think I mentioned what's up with Amazon. Not in my last video. The video before that, I went on at length about how I had a difficult time with the A to Z app, and an even more difficult time with HR over the phone for Amazon, and them being, having really strong Indian accents that I could hardly understand. And they said that somebody from my own warehouse wasn't going to call me. Well, nobody has called me from my own warehouse. At some point yesterday, I got an email. Saying that I was low on UPT, and my UPT balance had changed. And I checked the A to Z app, and they hit me with 10 hours of UPT on Sunday night for not showing up, which is ridiculous, because I called early Sunday afternoon after I got back from the urgent care and the pharmacy and the iPhone repair place, and getting my dental appointment. I did call, and that's when I called. That's when I called Dang, I'm gonna drive to QT. I really need to use the dang bathroom. And the guy's still sleeping at the picnic table. Felt kind of guilty eating my breakfast burger right next to him. But that's the only picnic table in this park, so I don't really have the choice of going to a different picnic table. I'm trying to plug in my charging cable, which I left plugged in. All right, I like this. This phone has a little blue light on it to let me know that it's charging. A little pop-up to tell me it's not charging at full speed. Yeah, whatever. What time is it now? 5:30, 7:38, 5:39. Still adding 2 minutes to my time on my car stereo. I haven't tried to reset that again or put in a better car stereo. Still haven't really tackled the mess in the living room and tried to find the mounting adapter for my other car stereo. There's a giant Suburban or truck or something. God, it just kills me how big these new trucks are. Like, look at this. Like, this is what the front, like his headlights, the top of his hood is higher than where my head is with me sitting in a Saturn aisle. It's just ridiculous how tall they're making these new trucks. That shit should just be illegal. Or at the very least, those should be only allowed with commercial plates and driven by people who have CDLs. People using those as just passenger vehicles. That shit just disgusts me. Oh, I'm thinking the best way to get over to QT is to go south on 20th, where I walked through, and then hang a left onto Thomas. Sucks that I can't turn left onto that side street there that I took to the park. So anyway, I'm reasonably sure, I'm crossing my fingers that I'll be in good enough shape to go into work tonight after I have that tooth pulled. I don't know, my mouth might still be hurting. I do feel like my mouth was really hurting the day after I had the other ones pulled 3 weeks ago. But hopefully I'll be feeling good enough to at least go in at 7 o'clock and try to talk to HR there and just show them what happened and show them all my medical paperwork and get that corrected. Because yeah, I shouldn't have lost a whole day of UPT on Sunday for not showing up, especially after all the time I spent on the phone with HR as I'm telling them, look, just take my information and it hurts, my mouth hurts, I'm in massive pain, I need to take my pills, I can't be talking hurts. Now, I did notice that they didn't do the same thing with me on Monday night. They didn't dock me any UPT on Monday night, and it still showed that I was scheduled for Monday. So I don't like know what's going on with Amazon HR and stuff. But I got faith. The most of the HR people in my local warehouse, they seem to be pretty good. I got faith they'll straighten it up for me. But no point in really stressing about it. But I do need to be aware of it and take care of it. So I'm going to wrap this up. I never did explain what happened with me and Stephanie on Saturday night. So I guess you'll have to just let your imaginations run wild. Just to clarify, no, I did not get naked with her. But yes, it was discussed as an option. Anyway, yeah, I'd be excited about that if I found Stephanie more attractive. But I really don't find her physically attractive at all. But I wouldn't say not at all. I mean, she's got a really pretty face, and she's an absolute sweetheart. And God knows she's got better teeth than me. She certainly rubbed that in on Saturday. It's like, showed a big perfect smile. It's like, oh, these are all my original teeth. I'm like, damn. And I think she's like 5 or 6 years older than me, so I was like, damn. Rub that in. She's like, I've always taken good care of my teeth. I'm like, yeah, I can see that as I spit out another chunk of my tooth that's falling apart. That's really disgusting. I'm like, yeah, I'm not too happy about it. I said, I just had to get the fuck out of the apartment. Anyway, I'm going inside. I need to use the restroom. I need to get another drink. My Circle K water has run out. And since I reactivated my sip and save well after midnight, I'm not going to be able to get another drink until tonight after midnight. But anyway, thanks for coming with me on this interesting little exploration of the area just west of Urbandale Park. And so curious what those apartments went for. Not that I'm looking for another apartment, and I highly doubt I'll find a better deal than what I have right now. I mean, from what everybody tells me, when I tell people what my rent is for the place I have, they're just dumbfounded. And I've been noticing Lizard Hunter's been doing some apartment reviews, and I've also been watching some on Big Super's channel, another local Phoenix YouTuber. And yeah, the amount of money people are paying for places that are an absolute shithole compared to where I live. I feel very fortunate to be where I am. I'm sure I'll figure it out this month. I mean, I want to believe I do have some family that'll absolutely help me out if I need it to get through this month, since I've had to take out so much time off work due to dental issues. But yeah, it is kind of scary, and it is a reality, and people wonder why there's so many homeless people. And granted, a lot of them, they're just spun out on drugs, but it's a chicken and the egg thing. Were they spun out on drugs before they were homeless, or did they become homeless because they were spun out on drugs? And I don't really have any stats to back that up. I don't have any, I just have anecdotal stories. And it seems like it kind of goes both ways. Some people end up homeless, and then they realize, they're in the park and they're hanging out with other homeless people, and somebody asks if they want to try a blue, and they just let them smoke one for free, and then they decide, wow, this numbs the pain. Watched an interview of a rather, I want to say, attractive 18-year-old on the Lost in Phoenix channel. And he does a lot of interviews of homeless people. And a very recent one, for maybe 2 weeks ago, it's a cute 18-year-old girl, white girl, with a little dog. And she seemed like she could probably, if she had some kind of family support system, could probably do all right. But her story was painful to listen to, and I guess she's been on the streets since she was 15, and now she's 18. But boy, in the face, she looks like she's pushing 30, and of course she's got the scabs from picking at her face. That's something that just seems to come with the drug use. But I get the feeling that she probably, a lot of people, they lose their home, and then they realize that they don't have the means to get another home, don't have any kind of support system, and then bam, it's like, well, I guess I can do these drugs and use that to help ease the pain. Yeah, things are tough right now, and they've been tough for, I know a lot of people have been living paycheck to paycheck for a long time. I mean, I've been living paycheck to paycheck. I've been living all paycheck to paycheck, counting my change for quite a while. Pretty good for the last 6-7 months since I've been with Amazon, but still, yeah, it's a scary thing about living paycheck to paycheck when you got something medical, even if it's as simple as a cracked tooth, that stops you from going to work, and that income stops. What do you do? What happens when you can't pay your rent? Anyway, I said I was going to go find Adam Gilligan, didn't I? Maybe I'll do that after I go get a drink.